Ho, ho, ho! And welcome to another edition, a special Christmas Eve edition of Egghead Scramble podcast. No one is up around the house. We got to keep it quiet, so I should probably not have been so loud with the ho, ho, hos. But we have an opportunity here while you're all probably tired of the Christmas shopping and other things you have to do, where we can have a little chat with a PGF Dallas Las Vegas Kings qualifier winner, Austin Oranday. You've seen him on other things, and we'll talk about that. But we had the opportunity, so here we go. Let's talk a little bit about the PGF. See, let's bring him on. There we go. Okay,
Mr. Egghead, how are you?
hey, very nice. And so, okay, I've done my required bit with the hat. You're in Texas, where I'm sure it's fairly warm. I'm in California,
Always.
where it's damn warm. So I'm just gonna match you right now a little bit
Oh,
because
I like it.
that's a little hot. Um, it's in the season and all that stuff, but it's a little much for the weather we have here. Our big problem right now is rain, not snow or hail or all that stuff that the poor guys up north and east have to do.
Ooh,
So
I hate it.
indeed, welcome, sir. So let's just get right to where we're at. Um, okay, so wife's doing a little last minute shopping because we never have enough under the tree. So that's what you might be hearing a little bit of that because I have a good mic. But let's get right to it. Dallas qualifier. You man, so many times in these qualifiers we have guys that just come in like buzzsaws, and you, sir, are the latest buzzsaw. 5-0, 3 elbow genie points, and a kill in there as well. Tell us about the qualifier, your experience.
Oh man, it was a great experience. I'm so happy I actually did the Kings qualifier because I got to meet a lot of nice people, a lot of people that I enjoyed to talk to and hang out with, like Jet Thompson and those guys. It was a great event though. Like I heard about I didn't realize the PGF did qualifiers. I've always watched from probably season 4 on. I've seen
Okay.
highlights and watched some of the normal series and the seasons as they come through. And one of my friends told me that they were doing a qualifying event in Dallas. I was like, man, let's let's try for it, and couldn't have had a better day. Like I was just telling everybody that day, I woke up and I felt like it was just my day. So much so that even in my third match, instead of going for the legs, I was like, I'm gonna strangle someone just to show the teams I can.
No, that's super smart. So it is definitely a tryout, both at the PGF qualifiers for making the PGF period, like Brandon says during the rules meetings, etc. That it's part jujitsu tournament, part American Idol, and you definitely passed both tests with flying colors, I believe. Uh, my son CJ, the producer, is reminding me that you had the second fastest qualifier submission in history with 13 seconds.
Yeah, so it's actually funny. My friend that told me about the qualifiers, that was my friend.
No.
Uh, yeah. So he trains at a local gym about 5 minutes down the road, and he comes and cross trains every week with me. And we were talking, and he was like, "Hey, man, these qualifiers coming up. You should do it." And I was like, "Let's do it, Cody." And we ended up meeting each other in the bracket. So, good friend of mine. But when we're out there, it's all business.
Hey, that you wouldn't be friends if you didn't hold each other accountable. So you held him accountable for 13 seconds. All right. So talking about the PGF, you just kind of hopped in there a little bit. I appreciate it. So you've been a fan of watching season 4. Season 4 is interesting because that was our quintet season. That was kind of like,
Yes.
we try to iterate and change. That was kind of an answer to both the idea that quintets are kind of fun, but also we want to make the coaches more of an experience of like actually having a role, and so they were able to change lineups and stuff like that. So you've seen since season 4 to the current. So you're back. You're an Epic or Becoming Church follower, yeah.
So really, I watched season 4 because I had some friends on. But
Mm,
after that, I caught highlights and clips, so I didn't stay like super involved and in tuned until last season. Jet Thompson, obviously the standout performance. We were common opponents. We've had matches in the past, so I, watching him just kind of, I fought him, and that's what put me on to, watching the kid, and then, seeing his part of the season, which, I've seen the highlights and the clips of his first come up. I think it was season, God,
6.
was that 6? Yeah,
Yep.
he tapped some big name black belts. So I, put me on the radar, and then we fought, and then I saw he was doing season 8. I was like, man, let's see how this goes, especially with that big weight cut. And that really tuned me into last season, and watched the whole season. And it was really good, really exciting, and like, man, I should try my best to be a part of this. And then once I heard there was a qualifier, I was like, this is my opportunity, this is my chance. I like to go out there and, after watching last season, watching the whole thing through, I was like, man, this is the rule set for me. We can fight as hard as we want for 6 minutes, and our only job is to put on a show. Sounds like fun.
There you go. So, I mean, obviously, people might be recognizing you because there's not too many guys that sport the cowboy hats in the jiu-jitsu community. Maybe the top guy, but he's kind of like all hat, no cattle. Gordon Ryan, don't hurt me. But you know, obviously, you were on UFC BJJ Road to the Title, and strangely enough, there was a number of UFC vets there as well. So you've been kind of like in the orbit of the PGF for a bit. Uh, what was that UFC BJJ experience like for you?
Man, it was really cool. Terrible performance on my end on the jiu-jitsu side, but on the atmosphere of it was really cool. I got to do it with my brother-in-law. He's the UFC BJJ 155 champion, Carlos Enrique. Watching him going out there and winning the title was amazing. The team, right? Like Andrew Tackett, kid's awesome. Getting to hang out with him, train with the high-level talent in the room. Nathan Haddad, all the guys out there, getting to meet Mikey. I wasn't on Mikey's team, but I get to meet him and talk to him, and just everyone there. It was good vibes for the most part, and I really enjoyed the process of it. There were some things in there, like I know some of the athletes were complaining that there was a lot of wasted time. TV time is always, you got to do everything twice. You got to reshoot that moment. Got to try again, pull up, mic up, pull out, pull back in. Things like that. Uh, I thought it was just cool to be a part of it though, and to see how a show like that's built. Um, see how reality TV works. It was, man, I enjoyed the experience. I do wish I had another crack at it though, because that was probably my worst performance to date. So
Well, you know, I think you released a great presence on the screen. Love your story. We'll talk about that in a second. But again, you were there with obviously David Sassari, Andy Varela, our champion from season 6, Elijah Carlton, multi-season champion, Nathan Haddad, just a standout and fan favorite. Obviously you got to know those guys at that time. Have you talked to them at all in advance of this PGF season?
I actually talked to Nathan Haddad about the PGF at UFC BJJ, and he was telling me that it's where you need to go. It's their vision is for athletes to be able to make a career, make a living out of competing, and he's the one that gave me, because I seen it from the outside. As a fan, I watch jiu-jitsu. I love watching jiu-jitsu. So always when these big organizations pop up, I try to see what are they doing different, and I've always, the matches are always exciting. They always post great clips of guys going out there and doing it. Didn't know how to be a part of it, and also you have some of these things. It's like, how does this at the time, he did the 1 week season. I was like, how does that season work? How's that look? And he was giving me breakdowns on how a season looks, how the pay structure works, how the draft works. And it's all really, it was really insightful for me to be like, man, I think I can be a part of this, and it kind of inspired me to jump for it. So shout out to Nathan. Thank you, buddy.
Hey, we all love Nathan. He's just a great gentleman, and obviously leaves his heart on the mat every time he has a chance. Really, always a fan. Always want to see him succeed. And I'm glad he's that ambassador of the PGF to other athletes, etc. Now, I have to put you on the spot a little bit, so I'm going to hit you twice with a couple questions about teams. You said it during the qualifier. You said, "Hey, I came to Las Vegas Kings qualifier. I want to be a king." Is that still your stance, or why?
That's
Go ahead.
where I'm at right now, right? I did not know going into the qualifier that they couldn't sign more than two athletes pre-draft. So, and most of the teams, we have three confirmed teams. It's the Philadelphia Phenoms,
Correct.
the Alabama Twisters, the Las
Yep.
Vegas Kings, and the
Yep.
fourth team is yet to be announced. But all three of these teams have their two preseason signs. So there's no more signing pre-draft for these. The fourth team, we don't know them yet. We don't know who it's going to be, but they could still sign two athletes. I'm open to offers from other teams, but what the Las Vegas Kings stand for is what I want, right? They have a saying, it's to be a king on and off the mat. Or our saying here at the gym is to be a black belt on and off the mat, right?
Nice.
They have good Christian values, right? I'm a Christian myself. We have good Christian values here at my team. And it's a team that they're trying to make more than just good athletes. They don't want you to just be a good competitor. They want you to be a good person, a good role model for the kids. And that's what I want to be, right? That's what I strive to be every day here in the gym. It's what I strive to be in my life. So I want to be a part of a team that's striving to be that. And the moment I met the guys, I clicked so well with them. Jet, I love the kid to death. He's a super awesome kid. I'm a fan.
Hmm.
Not only is he competition to me sometimes, but I think he's a good person and obviously a great athlete to be a part of that team. Cam, I've never met him, but I've seen him compete in a whole bunch of different organizations and all around the scene. I know he's a strong top player, and I think they'll make great teammates. But besides the fact that they'd be great teammates, I think it'd be a great team to be a part of. So that's the goal right now. If it doesn't happen, I just want to be a part of the PGF, part of the season. I haven't met any of the other teams yet, so I'm open to talking to them. I'm open to talking to the Philly Phenoms and the Alabama Twisters, and I'm open to talk to everyone. But right now, the Kings have my heart. So
Yeah, obviously, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Kings. Kevin Lucas, New Hope Regeneration owner and the first franchise owner of the PGF, has a vision, and I'm all for it. I'm bought in. He already started last season. Once a week, they brought in somebody to teach all the competitors about things from off the field, type stuff. Like finances, leadership, all kinds of great things. I mean, I know they're also providing an Airbnb for all the guys this season, which is huge. And again, just like Kevin came out to season 5 and he just bought in, first as a sponsor for the PGF, and then as the first franchise owner. And so I think you would do well to be a king. Obviously, Travis Thomas, the GM, the Mantis, also PGF vet, but solid guy. And you're 100% right that Jet Thompson, good kid, met his folks. They done well. Good Okie. I mean, nothing wrong with a Texas boy meeting up with a Okie and a Kansas/Colorado in here. So that heartland vibe, we all like it. But to your point, and so I like the fact that you were marketing yourself. Pardon me. You were marketing yourself pretty hard to get signed, and I love that. That's smart. That's a good athlete, good businessman. But to that point, at the draft on February 4th, Stephen Aiken runs the show. Our announcer, also auctioneer. I'll be in there, making sure the math works, because some 10th Planet guys can't do math. Andy Barilla, or his.
happens to the best of us.
It happens. I'll share my spreadsheets. It'll be good. But give you a second here, just to practice. So before the auction starts for you, Stephen Aiken's going to give you a chance with the mic. Don't try to take his mic because he's a big man, and he doesn't like people taking his mic. But let's do this real quick. Say you're on that mic for the draft. Let's hear your elevator pitch to the teams.
Hey guys, I'm exciting. I'm gonna put on the best show. I'm a finisher. I'm gonna try to tap everyone every round. It's do or die every round. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna lay it on the line. And hey, it's time to put on a show. And I hope to be a part of the season 9.
Love it, because I'm like you're very self-aware, and you're aware of the business of jiu-jitsu as well. And I think you've already seen that the PGF, even our draws, which we hate seeing draws because it's a loss for both guys, but because of the format, it forces everyone to go to the very end. I remember seeing think it was Road to the Titles, episode 3, where you're commenting, or maybe it was the one where you're commenting that the bowl kept people from running away from you. Well, we got couches with VIPs, so they're fair game. Hey, that's part of the splash zone. If you run into them, that's fine. Or if you're PJ Barch and Andy Varela, you go into the second row. Don't do that, please. But people can't run away from you because we have stalling penalties. They'll get a flag. What do you feel about that element to the game of the PGF?
So I actually fought one time under PGF rules at Enigma. They were doing our PGF's esque rules.
Mhm.
And I went three for my first match. Was three subs. Obviously the intensity of the rules brings like guys will go out there try to fight. Well, I fought in the finals, and I was the one receiving penalties. I didn't quite understand the rules fully. I'll be honest with you. At that time, I don't think I ever opened the PGF book and read the rules. And me and my opponent were getting calls. I think I got 3 calls, got put in the referee position, and didn't understand why calls were happening from bottom side control. Like, how am I getting stalling down here? Like I'm the one dying.
Yeah.
And that really opened my eyes going into this qualifier of like, hey, this is a do or die. You get put bottom side, you can't lay there. You can't just lay there and put your elbows in. You have to go. So I think it's going to be an exciting season. I think the rules push guys to actually lay it out there and take chances that they're not normally going to take. And knowing that you're going to have 15 matches over the season, you might not win every match. That's part of it. But you have to try to every match, and that's where that do or die comes in. That excites me.
No, absolutely.
That's where the stalling calls it changes it, because the thing is, if you try to be lazy one round, you're gonna have a guy on your back. You're gonna be starting in that referee position, and then if you can't be lazy anymore. If you start there, you have to move. Whether you're on top, you have to jump for the guy's back. You have to try to tap him, or he's gonna escape, and you're right back to where you were. Or the guy on bottom, if you don't move, you don't try to escape, you don't try to roll, turn, flip, all the things. You got a guy on your back now. You're about to die. So it's a good incentive to keep moving and actually keep a good pace, rather than a 10-minute boring slow match where we're fighting for double guard sits and flat and half guard.
No, I love it. Yeah, you've had that experience, and we'll give a quick shout out to Christos Papadelos, PGF vet, multiple seasons. The promoter of Enigma, and that was an Enigma Invitational 23.
Yep.
You can go to enigma.tv, I believe, on your browser, or hit up his app. Very searchable, very fun. Although I did chat with him earlier today, he still needs to tag your dang match with Jet, so I can easily search it. But it's okay. We'll get that before the season. I'll give him a rundown. But you can definitely check out Austin and Invitational 23 and see Jet as well. And again, I think that's huge that you've at least had some of that rule set experience. So you've already had that kind of that rude awakening, if you will, because Wilson, Officer Grimy, came in and he even said, because he was late, free agent pickup, that there's a learning curve to this rule set.
Absolutely.
Because as you said, you're like, I'm in bottom side control. He's killing me. What do you want me to do? Well, sorry, brother. The rule set is you got to give up, a look at your back or something. You have to, the person that's on the defensive, it's on that person to change the situation. And I think that that's good.
It changes the earnest of a fight. So many fights, it's the earnest is on the guy on top to try to tap the guy, and the earnest being on the bottom guy to defending. So you can't just defend yourself. You gotta take the risk to get up, get out, get moving, and it keeps the flow of the pace where you don't see a lot of decisions even in a 6-minute match, because you have to go forward.
100%. And that's, yes, that's, I love that you've already picked that up. I think that's gonna make you dangerous from match one, because you already know the vibe, the spirit of the PGF system that we have. That's outstanding. So let's talk a bit about and then we hit the PGF right away, and we'll talk more about PGF because the show mostly about the PGF. But let's just talk about Austin Oranday, himself and your journey in jiu-jitsu. Let's just open-ended. How'd you get in? Give us the story, brother.
The short and brief is a board homeschool kid that was following his brother. My family, it's me, my brother, I have a little sister, and my mom. Uh, she homeschooled the three of us. Dad was always out of town working, and my brother was really interested in MMA. He watched Brock Lesnar versus Frank Mir, the knee bar, right? And he was like, I really want to do that. And so one summer we find this little local gym in Baytown, Texas. We start training super young, 10, almost 11. Sister started when she was 4, brother was like 12, and we fell in love with it. It was, at first, it was just something for me to do. I wasn't as in love with it as my brother. Uh, and then for me, it turned into, it was an outlet. My parents ended up splitting up, and, I was 14, 15 at the time. It became this great outlet where I just kind of threw my whole life into training, and being homeschooled, I could train 2 or 3 hours a day. I didn't always. My brother always did. From the time he could, as soon as he got in the adult class, always trained 2 or 3 hours a day. Phenomenal athlete. And for me, it was something when I started going through a tough time. It was just my outlet. Just started pouring into it. Life circumstance, changed a lot for us. We ended up moving from downtown Houston back to our hometown in Southeast Texas, where we are now. And then we were following our coach at the time. He had an opportunity down here. It didn't work out. We had settled roots. My brother had his first daughter. My mom met my stepdad, and we couldn't go back to Houston to train. And at 17 and 18 years old, with my mom that was a purple belt at the time, we opened. My brother was purple belt, my mom was purple belt, and I was a blue belt. And at 17 and 18 years old, me and my brother opened our first gym, and that was almost 10 years ago. April will make 10 years,
Yeah.
where me, my mom, and brother opened our first gym. Stepdad had a lot of confidence in us, a lot of belief, helped us, buy the mats and do everything it took to open up the first gym. And now we have two gyms in Southeast Texas. He has one in Port Neches, I have one in Lumberton. We're rocking about 200 students each. He's running that one full time, we're running this one, and just truly blessed, for great parents to believe in us and take a chance on a 17 and 18-year-old kid running gyms. And now I'm 27, you know, running a gym full time and living the dream, getting to compete around the world. My whole family's black belts. The family's expanded. My sister married Carlos Enrique, the UFC BJJ champion. My stepdad's a black belt now. Mom's a black belt. I'm a black belt. Sister's a black belt. Brother's a black belt. Fiance's a blue belt. And niece is trained and all the things. So it's truly a blessing in life. The story is, I briefly ran through that, but that's
Well,
there's a lot in that 10 years,
yeah,
a lot of
decade
trial and
plus.
errors for, you know, um, a 17-year-old kid trying to run a gym, trying to run a program, trying to lead, and make a difference in the community. And we've done some things right, we've done some things wrong, but it's crazy how we ended up here. And why that whole time, we were running the gym and, training and all the things, we were going out of town to train at different camps, and leaving the gym with my mom and stepdad to run for a week or two and go train with Lucas Lepre or Cabrinia or all these legendary guys of the sport to try to make ourselves better, and at the same time still competing. We followed the IBJJF circuit very closely, me and my brother, and competed for years over there. So just trying to take every opportunity we can, and I think it's working out pretty good.
No, I love it. It's a jujitsu family, and that's
Absolutely.
I would say I followed Brandon since at least 2018, 2019, before the PGF. And at least some of his interviews, he talked about somewhat of a similar thing. Like you meet families that, who knows, they're a softball family. So everyone plays, competes, club, etc. I'm in Southern California where it's a little wild. I didn't know it, but volleyball is like football in Texas here. So there's plenty of volleyball
Absolutely.
families. But you have a jiu-jitsu family. Like Brandon has a jiu-jitsu family. Obviously, his wife's a black belt as well. He just promoted his daughter to purple belt. His son had trained before. Now he's kind of like helping running the producing of, media, etc. That's pretty amazing. Oh, okay. So we got Brittany Williams in here. I can't wait to see who signs. Austin, bound to be an exciting season with this guy and your team. Learning the rule set better is only going to make Austin an even more valuable player for sure. 100%. I already said it, but I concur. The fact, two things already. One, you have experience in the rule set So that's that instantly applicable knowledge of the PGF. But you also said you love to watch jujitsu, which we pointed out with TV dinner, that it's surprising how many competitors don't, and it's wild. But I mean, you seem to be obviously a gym owner for 10 years, starting at 17. You're thrown in the deep end, and you figure things out. But I think you've figured out that film study is important. Is that correct?
Absolutely. That's a little touch of autism there. The hyperfixation of when I'm competing, getting to know every in and out of my opponents. That was actually one of the things that was hard about the qualifiers. Is there was very few opponents that had a lot. I think my final opponent that I actually had two matches with, he had a lot of video on Instagram and stuff like that. A lot of matches on YouTube, but other than him, there was not a lot to study about my opponents. Obviously I knew Cody. We trained together. So I knew his game well, but outside of those two guys in the bracket, there was not a lot of footage to study on the guys. So, that's the thing that keeps me up at night where it's like, oh, I don't know what their five best moves are. And I like to know everything about my guy when I go into it. So
No, that's super smart. And that is one of the beautiful things about the qualifiers is that democratization, pardon me, of jujitsu, that everyone can have a shot. And I'll talk
absolutely.
about that with people once we're done. But actually, I think that was one of the keys. I'm not going to take anything away from Jet for the kid from season 6, but if you tried to find him before season 6, there wasn't a lot out there. Even the opens that he did, a lot of them weren't like broken out and tagged. You had to actually go find them and watch them. And when you
Yep.
did, he's a killer. Uh,
Very, very impressive. But it's hard to study some guys, because especially when you compete all over the place, not everywhere streamed, especially lower belt matches. Jet at the time, I think, was only a brown belt, a pretty fresh brown belt
yes, I think so.
for his first season. And so, there's not a lot of footage on him. There's not a lot of footage of blue and purple belt matches. And even then, if there is, how accurate is that? How much has that game changed from blue belt to brown belt? So you don't know his best tendencies are anymore. Now, a little bit of a spoiler is there's a lot of footage on him. Season 6, some Enigma stuff. Obviously, he got a lot more super fight opportunities after that, and then now season 8 was huge. He was all over. He was the star of season 8. So there's a lot to learn.
Yes, we definitely have talked about it that before season 8, he definitely had that target on his back, going for that number 1 draft pick that was auctioned off. It's all of a sudden that gave a threat that people would be, well, their expectation management was different. They're like, okay, if I can just even get a draw against the top guy, I've done something for my team in this. Does that concern you? Because obviously you're well known from UFC BJJ. You were the number 1 ranked no gi black belt for a bit. You're a known quantity, and putting the cowboy hat on makes you visible. So are you worried about that target on your back? Should you be that number 1 draft pick?
I'm hoping to be the number 1 draft pick is the goal. I want to make myself that valuable to a team where every team wants me. Is fingers crossed going to be the goal. But it doesn't worry me, right? People, I've competed for the IBJJF for years. They are really where I've kind of made my name, and there's a lot of stalling, a lot of cagey fighting there. It happens, someone scores and they want to coast the match, and there'll be a lot of that, especially when you're fighting someone really dangerous. I think Elijah Carlton, you see it happen with some of his matches. Guys just try to cage him out because he is deadly dangerous. He's one of those guys, you make one wrong step and a mistake, he could tap you. But I've been fighting that for years, so I'm not, if they want to play that game, then I think it's much easier to fight someone like myself or fight someone like Elijah, going full bore 100% and trying a game of one of us is going to tap, and you might get to tap. If you play cagey, you're for sure not going to tap me. And then okay, you might take me to a draw, but I'm going to make you work for it. I'm going to go, you're going to have to hold me off for 6 minutes. We're going 100% full bore for 6 minutes, and if you can hold me off, then maybe you deserve that draw, but that's a hard ask, especially if you're paying cagey. If you're going forward, if you're trying to tap me, then, I have to respect you. I have to, play that game of back and forth, and we're going to exchange and you're going to exchange. And, I have things to worry about. If guys try to play cagey, then that means they're not trying to tap me. It means they're just trying to coast, and I get to go 100% focused on the submission. So I think I'm used to it. I'm excited to show that.
Yeah, indeed. You're giving me some Hafa Fajera vibes there. The Tasmanian Devil of season 8, and I'm all here for it. So you alluded to it. We have the Alabama Twisters, who already signed Elijah Carlton, PGF royalty, first ballot Hall of Famer, I'm sure, and Kevin Buring, who is just a menace, has been since he was a baby purple belt. Baby blue belt on PGF season 3. Then we have, the Kings, which obviously you know Jet Thompson, and you have win against him. And then just like, Cam Hurd, the earnest beast that he is, who's just becoming deadlier every day, just racking up ADCC open gold medals. And then you have the Phenoms, Lauren Brown's team. They got Andrew Cockle, just a forever competitor. I mean, he's got like triple digit plus amount of competitions under his belt. Hardworking, fast guy. And then Derek Rodman Rayfield, if you will. That was such a star last season, but he's been competing, and he was on EBI 4 when he was 12. But as you alluded, there's a fourth team that's going to happen. Who knows? It might be the Colorado Wolverines. We'll see. I'm working here, guys. I'm working, when I'm not doing the podcast on that stuff. But so should you be picked by that fourth team, how do you think you stack up against the known players thus far?
I think obviously I've had a match against Jet. I think that's a barn burner, right? I think either way we go, one of us is going to tap each other. Cam is an interesting style, right? Watching him compete, very top heavy, very pressure. One of those guys that kind of just wilts you over time, and is looking to just by every forward motion, top pressure, and waiting for you just to wilt, to strangle you to death. Reminds me of fighting, I think, Nick Mattia. I think in a 6 minute rule set, that plays to my favor because it's hard to wilt someone over 6 minutes. So, I'll be looking to do my game, get underneath him, get into the leg entanglements, create scrambles, and, see what happens from there. I think me and Elijah are a lot of the same game. I've only trained with Elijah at UFC BJJ. Obviously, we're both cutting a ton of weight at the time. Looking at us each other, looking at his game, looking at his style, I think we're very similar. I think that's one of those ones. Once again, one of us, it's either going to be a deadlock where it's we're both so good at the same things that we're just leg pummling and
Canceling each
fighting
other
the
out.
inside,
Yeah.
and exactly you're kind of just stalemating, or it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be under a minute for either one of us. And then when it comes to the other guys, I've seen the pacing. I haven't seen enough matches against neutral opponents. Like me and Elijah have had matches against the same guys. I've seen him compete against a lot of the same guys. I've competed against Nathan Haddad. I've seen him compete against Nathan Haddad. A lot of the same neutral opponents. So I don't have too much to say comparing myself to the other guys. But Elijah, Cam, and Jet, I'm excited for it, and we'll see how it shakes out. There's only really one way to find out. You can do as much jujitsu math as you want, but who shows up on the right day with the right attitude and is going to give it their all is going to do the best.
No, I love it. Granted, we do believe in jujitsu math here at the Egghead Scramble podcast. We're going to have Abe from Substats. You'll see everyone's been seeing him on Instagram lately. He's going to be a partner of the show, and we're
making killer content.
Yeah, he's doing great stuff, and he's definitely going to be helping us with that jujitsu math. And I've done a little bit of jujitsu math for 5 years or so with PGF. But you're right. In the end, it's kind of like the two Elkins, Jake and Matt, always say, hey, it's just time to find out, and we're going to find out fast. And I love your attitude there. So I know, obviously we're getting towards the end. I'm going to give you a chance in a minute to just give final thoughts, but we have to, talk about sponsors, seminars, etc. I think CJ has a graphic for you. So you have a seminar coming up, right?
I do. It's in McAllen, Texas, at Kolikoff Grappling Studio. One of my good friends, Vlad Kolikoff, he's a sambo practitioner for years, a guy
Mm.
from Russia, judo black belt, jiu-jitsu black belt. I'm going to be doing a leg lock no-gi seminar for kids and adults uh, down there on January 25th. It's going to be right after the Sub de Ops tournament. So I'm really looking forward to that. Always a great time down in the valley. Good tacos, good friends, and hopefully going to be some good jiu-jitsu.
All right, guys. I mean, obviously you have an insane competitor here, and $50 for a seminar. Come on. I'll sign up for that for every day. Twice on Sunday. It's a bit of a hike from beautiful Southern California for me, so I will not be making it. But if you're anywhere around there, spend a little bit of gas money, guys. Find a way to get there. Support the man. All right. So obviously, you have your Oranday, pardon me, brothers, gym, and you're out at Lumberton. That's a little bit north of Beaumont, right?
Yes, sir. A little north of Beaumont. If you guys in the area, you want to stop by and train, by all means, come stop by, get some rounds in. We have, great training every single day. And yeah, if you want to stop by and get some good rounds, come get some good rounds. If you guys want to follow me on social media, you can follow me at Gumby Jiu Jitsu on all platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all of the things. QR code's up on the screen if you want to give me a follow. And thank you guys.
Yeah, CJ does a pretty good job of that. All right, I think we. I mean, one, the fact that you got Gumby Jiu Jitsu, well done, sir. I bet people are trying to buy that off you left and right. Um,
Yeah, it's actually a nickname given to me by an old training partner, Chad Crow. He was older guy in training, super flexible when I was young. And he stopped calling me by my name, started only calling me Gumby. Once, like, you know what? Google. Watched the whole series of Gumby in like 3 days. Stayed up the whole night, and it stuck. So now I've always been Gumby.
No, I love it. Probably that old guy's kind of like me, the old guy on the mat with 5 knee surgeries, and so we're just jealous of you guys with actually working appendages. So yeah, I think we've had a great talk. Is there anything about the PGF, Jiu-Jitsu, the upcoming season? Is final thoughts from you, Austin?
I'm excited for it. I can't wait to be a part of it. Forward to the draft to see what team I end up on. Looking for that number one spot in the draft this year. Thank you to the PGF for putting in such hard work. Thank you to everyone that gave me the opportunity. Thank you. I'm sorry, what happened there? Thank you guys for bringing me on the podcast today. Excited to be a part of the PGF. Excited to be a part of this thing that's growing. And thank you guys.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Austin. You've been a wonderful guest, and I love your
Frozen.
energy. Wow. We're having some internet issues.
Hello.
Yep, we got you. We got you. But it's all right. We're about to say goodbye anyway.
Hello.
So, Austin, hop on. CJ is going to put you in the green room. I'll be there in a second, and I'm going to close this out. All right, PGF and Jiu-Jitsu fans, thank you so much. Merry Christmas, by the way. I hope Santa brings you everything you desire. It's maybe a Alabama Twisters rash guard or a Philly Phenoms rash guard or a Las Vegas Kings rash guard, things of that nature. Support the PGF. If you are in the giving season mood, you could, maybe give your friend some gag gift, maybe a shake weight or some jorts or something like that. Or maybe think about this. If you have a friend that's a 175er or can make 175 and they want to, live in the posterity of the PGF, maybe you give them a gift of helping support them go to a qualifier. January 17th, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. We have the Philly Phenom qualifier. Check it out. I mean, Northeast has some great grapplers. I know you do. So show up, show out, and you could be a part of the PGF. Obviously, January 24th, Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Kings second qualifier. And every season we've had a Las Vegas qualifier. It's just been fire. So I hope that one is live streamed. Regardless, I'm going to be there, so I'm going to see it live. But if you can make it to Vegas, and Vegas usually has cheap flights, think about going, because we have qualifiers now, but I don't know how long we're going to have them. So this is your chance. If you can make 175, it's go time, guys. So I appreciate you spending your time with us. Obviously, you have to go back and be with family or other things. Maybe you're still prepping, still buying more gifts. My wife's on her now second run to get more gifts of the day. So Egghead's pocketbook's going to be hurting. Giddy up. So again, thank you so much. Check out the PGF. Look in the past. Go to pgf.world. Check out all kinds of great stuff. As the producer CJ says, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I mean, hey, send this to your friends, guys. We're trying to put out good content, trying to give you that insight, knowledge that the Egghead has. So, in the end, not everyone can have a 20-pound brain, but I'm gonna help you make up for that. I would say let's tune in next week, but I know we at least have some shows on Friday. So see you then.